Welcome back to Cheap to Charming. Today we're going to be looking at the straight edges of this gun, trying to add a little bit more line to the way this gun looks. So as you can see, this gun has a bit of a raise, a bit of a hog's back, but not really a proper hog's back, just a nasty shape of stock. So what we're going to look to do is sort that out, and then we're going to flick it over, and we're going to sort of take a little bit of the roach billy out of this gun, not too much because we'd end up with a bit of a matchstick left, but just enough. We're going to try and take the line, make the lines a little straighter, and that does also include the sides as well. However, the sides of this gun are quite nicely straight, we must admit. And that's job for today, create some line and sort of get a stock with a look that we're happy with. So without further ado, let's get the files out, shall we? The first bit we're going to do by eye. Essentially I'm just going to look down and I can see where the high spots are. I'm going to take them off. We're going to work just purely on the top and bottom line, and then we're going to start radiusing those in. Probably one at a time, more than do one line and the other line radius. I mean, probably do one line radius it, the other line radius it, and then hit it with a little bit of sandpaper. And then once we've done that, we might rebalance it today as well. We'll see how we get on. Right, to the vise.
Just use a pencil to mark your barriers. Before taking a bit of meat out, we're going to change to a slightly coarser file than that. This one here looks perfect. Line 1, line 2. And all of a sudden this very soft piece of wood is being a real nasty one to cut. Alright, well we've created a flat spot for the file to sit on and we're quite happy with the line there actually. This is going to be the line of our stock.
Alright, so come on, view my viewpoint. Hold on. So here we have a flat surface on the top. We have taken a few millimeters off because of this, but you know that is by sort of unavoidable if you like. As you can see, you can suddenly see there was a high spot there and a high spot there, and the rest, although it was radiused about the same, was not in line. Anyway, so now the job is next flat, then join them up. So I'll use a rasp now because we actually have quite a bit to take, and here we go. I mean, that's something. That is something. Not sure whether that something is good, but that is something. No, I'm fairly sure that's lovely and straight. So all we need to do now is take a slightly lighter file and just work our way to really just smooth it around and into the stock. Well, wrapping off with that, what I'm going to do is going to get some sandpaper and a sanding block and just work our way along it. With some sandpaper on there preferably would be a good idea. Probably start not with 400,
with 240. And then once we've done that, we'll kind of address the funny looking dippy nose thing, probably by drawing it back to the flat. But I might just do that now. That's better, I think. I think I'm very confident on the fact that it looks better, because it wouldn't have taken much to look worse. Roll her up. And let's go. What you're really aiming to do with this is A, take the file marks out the top, and to B, get your radiuses kind of feeling right. I've said a lot of sort of stupid stuff here, but just feel it, touch it, connect. You'll feel a bad line as much as look at one. And you'll see underneath, actually, this isn't a horrific piece of wood. Boom. Top line done. We'll come and revisit this with some lighter grit later on, once we've done the other side. Before I do the other side, however, I might just fit this pad down the side a little better than I've already done it. Ta-da! The gun is now upside down. It's now an Australian gun. And all we're going to look to do essentially is get the same straight edge we had last time, or any straight edge. As long as it's straight, it doesn't really matter what you use. And we're going to look to essentially bring that line down like that. So I'm going to remove this little bit of roach belly in here, and then it depends on how clever we want to be, we might remove that flick back as well. So let's mark ourselves out, because it takes no time. So this is purely aesthetic, I should point out at this point. This is actually going to give us 0 to no benefit in shootability. But that is acceptable. Oh, that's a good line. Good line. This project is a tarty project anyway, isn't it? So. Oh, it's looking better already. So we've got 2 straight lines. My OCD has been appeased. The gun looks prettier. Now we're going to strap it together. We're going to check balance. And we're going to look at rebalancing it today. And then the final episode will be refinishing. And then the super final episode, we call it conclusion, is we might go and shoot it. Possibly. If it works. Before I do rebalance it, I'm just going to go over this stock quickly with some 240 before next week's grand refinishing project. More to A, fit the pad, and B, just to kind of make 100% sure that we're nicely blended in there. Right, so now the pad is nice and roughly on there. We've got some lovely straight lines on this stock. So before we go on to rebalancing, please just observe the beautiful straight line on the bottom and the top there. Just got a little bit more elegance about it. Ooh. Alright, gun together. And the number one reason for using water sanding is you don't end up with dust goddamn everywhere. Boy. Alright, so we'll look for a standard hinge pin balance here. So first things first, it's front heavy. So even if we go a ½ inch in front of the hinge pin, it's still front heavy. So we're going to look to add some weight into the back. Pad off. So before we do that, we need to kind of assess how much weight that is. There's a real simple way of doing that. That's this. So essentially what we're going to do is we're going to take this little polythene bag, we're going to strap it to the back of the gun, and we're going to add some weight to it, just to give us a vague ballpark idea of where we're going to be. From there we make a billet, we insert it, and we have a play essentially. It's not trial and error, it is educated trial. Not being funny, we can't make it much worse, or much more effort to shoot. So, without further ado, we're going to fill it with cartridges because they weigh about 1 ounce each, because we're using little 24-gram loads here, just to give us a vague idea of how many ounces it's going to take. Therefore, we chuck it on the scale, then we get enough lead to make the billet we put on the scale, so on and so forth. It's a bit of an arduous one. I'm sure there's a better mathematical equation for it than that, but that would involve maths. Quick maths. Right, so over the hinge pin, we are almost spot on. If anything, just a touch front heavy still. So we chuck one more in the back, and that is about right. It's a touch on the rear, however you've got to imagine this weight isn't all going to be strapped around the back plate, it's going to be inserted. So actually that's probably going to work about right for a touch front heavy sporter. Which is kind of where you want the balance to be, I would have said. So we're going to go and weigh this little bag now, and then we will dose out the correct amount of lead, melt, put in the hole, job done. I'll see you then. So as you can see on the inside of this stock here, it is hollow. A lot of people do this to reduce the overall weight of their guns, but actually end up throwing off the balance with a slightly cheaper barrel set like that. So it actually makes our lives a little harder. We've got solid wood stock, you can bore a hole and put stuff in. When it's like this, like I just said, it is just that little bit harder. Doesn't leave us with too many options. However, there are always options. Most likely is to make a billet like this with a hole in that I can screw in place. Oh, I can't wait.
Essentially we're just knocking the any loose BBs out there before re-smelting it. The end. Look at that, ever so slightly front heavy. Muy bueno. And surprisingly, actually in the hand, although the weight is sat a bit further back, realistically I'd love to take this action and make it out of real metal, but you know, stupid charming and all that, not Johnny builds a gun from scratch. She handles better, she's got nice straight lines on her. Now just to refinish it with a bit of oil, a bit of a clean up, and then thank God we'll be done. Thanks very much for watching guys, take care, goodbye, and we'll see you next time.